place where you're born, your motherland, it attracts you like a magnet. That energy starts pulling you back. And then after this was written, the third edition, it did circulate really well in the United States. But my soul, my inner being started calling me and telling me that the highest and best for this book would be to find its way and be released in India. So that was the intention. I won't say it's prediction, I'd say it's more about, it's solution-based, it's more solution-based information, right? I'll give you one example. So what happened many years ago, and I was on a radio station, I still am actually, on a station called Seeing Beyond, which is run by Bonnie Colling. She's behind this book as well, and this one, lady who happened to be my client, she's an Irish lady, she heard me and then she consulted me for a little bit, and then with this information I was able to sell a couple of houses for her down south Los Angeles. And then she moved up north, and then she started calling me one day and said, "Hey Jesse, you need to come and meet my friend, he's the programming director of Prawn Fort Television in San Francisco." And then being a stranger that you just consulted, right, I was eager to go, but my wife said, "Hey listen, why are you sitting there answering a call and going to meet a stranger, you barely know her, right?" But my innocence said, "No, we need to go see this guy," right? We did. And so when I went there, she was absolutely right. Her friend was Pat Patton, and Pat Patton was the programming director of Prawn Fort Television in San Francisco, a huge star there. And then we met, a few times later. And then, so this structure is a huge building on South Van Ness in San Francisco, and the address was 1001 South Van Ness Avenue. But the television station was not doing that well. So he said, "Hey, Mr. Kalsi, what do you think about this number?" Interestingly, this man, because he was desperate for his ratings to go up, right? He said, "Okay, 5 and 2, so it became 1001 2 5 and 2. And then, like television and print media are always in competition, right? So one day what happens is, and that was pretty soon, a couple of weeks later, so this gentleman, the reporter from sfgate.com, he just goes by the station, right, and looks at those numbers there. And you know how the white man's mentality is kind of very different, right? So he goes up to the security guy saying, "Hey, why are these numbers here?" So he says, "Oh, ask Pat Patton because he asked me to put these numbers here." And he goes inside and says, "I want to meet Pat Patton." And he says, "Why are these numbers here?" So this Jesse Kalsi told me. And so now, and they wrote this huge story. And he said, look at this station. He's consulted a numerologist, and they can't do their business, and their ratings are down. But what actually happened was those numbers did shift the energy, and Crown 4 Television started doing much better. And this can be verified. If you go Google my name, Jesse Kalsi, and add Crown 4 to it, you would find out that story there. So I'm basically stuck to that tale forever, right? So that's what happened. And so that's one of those many things I did. I've also had a chance to work with several, famous people like Gracy up in Hollywood, but you know how it is. Some information has to be kept private because they hire me to talk to them, but then I have to talk to a manager and sign a paper, and so whatever I discuss with them is very confidential. So that pretty much goes on too. I have also had a chance to consult with many startups in the Silicon Valley. Name business names, like pick up the right vibration for the business. So that's happened many times too. But then there's this one example I want to really talk about is this gal, she's from Pune here, and she's an engineer there. She came to consult with me, right? And her daughter, she's like a teenager, more than a teenager actually, and she had a friend who would actually, this is kind of negative talk for her. It's okay, I'll tell you. So the daughter goes and her friend jumps off the Golden Gate Bridge, right? And so the mother is so worried, but this daughter says that, you know what, I have to follow my friend and so then she comes to see me. So I said, do this and this and this, and she did, right? But this girl didn't listen, She goes right back, and she's hanging off the Golden Gate Bridge again. But luckily what happened, the people on top, right, they saw her. And so this guy approached her and said, hey, start talking to her, give her the psychological dose, and pulled her back. Wow. So that I honestly, in my gut, I feel so good about it because I had suggested a few things to her, which she did, and she was wearing something that I gave her, and I directly feel that energy saved that gal's life. So that's something that I remember, but they're much more than what I can tell you now because I've been practicing this for more than 20 years. So, after I ended my military career, I served the Indian military for 8.5 years. I was I came out of the National Defense Academy, which is up here in Pune 3 years, and then Indian Military Academy there, and then I was a captain in the Gurkha Rifles for 8.5 years. And yeah, I'm an infantry officer, by the way. I've served this country, my motherland, very honorably. I was also an instructor in the commando wing right here in Belgaum, and I was an ADC to a general in the desert too in that short term, so I was doing really well. But then karma, it's called destiny, right? And things turn, your mind flips, right? And then your karma, my karma took me straight out of here to a country where I was kind of totally blank because I was not an MBA, right? I had a big dream, but I did not know what to do, right? When I came to America, but by the grace of God, I got legalized within a year's time, which is, what legalization basically means is like, getting your green card, which it happened, And then, when I was a cadet in the military academy, I remember I used to, you're fighting in these fighting ranges that teach you how to shoot rifles and all that. I used to always end up with a rifle number 27. And 27 was, as you shoot the rifle in the ranges there, it was very light on my shoulder, and the recoil was very less. But my score was always very high. But I was fairly young at that time, I didn't realize that. There's something about this number, I didn't realize that. But after I leapt into America and suddenly found a full blank, right? That 27 came back in my apartment as a number. Very mysterious. And then after that, I did my, I became a flight instructor. From an infantry officer to a flight instructor was kind of a big change. And very often when I used to land the plane and sit down and I used to look at myself and say, what is happening, right? And I could, take students up and flip the plane up and down, and then, you wonder at yourself, how far could you, how could you do all these things? But then many things happened, and then I remember one day, this one gal, she was kind of attracted to me, so she came and she was knocking my door, and then she happened to be my wife later. So that also happened in that number 27. So many good things happened, but that is all related to numbers and numerology. And but my point is this, that 27 does not work with everybody, right? So it's not one shoe fits all. ऐसा नहीं होता है. So it works with me because I have a date of birth that is more specific to my energy. So that has to be considered before you pick any number. But I can tell you for a fact that you stay in your own energy and your own numbers, and then you go up the sky.
Wow. And also we have the beautiful Gracy Singh. So Gracy, हम आपसे जानना चाहते हैं कि आप कितना मानती हैं डेस्टिनी को, एस्ट्रोलॉजी को, न्यूमरोलॉजी को?
Good evening. Many congratulations to Gracy ji, and very inspiring to hear from you. I believe that we are always surrounded with positive and negative energies. So if we think positive, we attract positive energies. So I do believe that you create your own destiny and you have the power to change. And I'm here to support because Gracy ji is spreading so much of happiness in people's lives, and it's all about solving the problem. And I have never studied myself, but yes, I do believe that magic happens. And with me also astrologically, many magical things have happened in my life, and it's happening since many years. So yes, you can always create magic with numbers. That has happened. Yes.
You can always create magic with numbers.
You can recognize your own strength and your own positive numbers and then act accordingly.
Wow. थी या बना रही थी, जो कि एक अल्टीमेट ड्रीम होता है. सो क्या कितनी आपने इम्पोर्टेंस इस बात को कि मेरे घर का नंबर क्या है, या नेम प्लेट्स में जो नाम लिखे गए हैं उनका टोटल क्या है?
ये मैंने कभी पहले डिसाइड नहीं किया. बस मेरा फोकस हमेशा मेरे गोल पे होता है कि मुझे क्या अचीव करना है. मुझे सिर्फ उसका रिजल्ट दिखता है, और वो कैसे होगा, क्या होगा, वो मैं नहीं देखती. लेकिन मैं अपने फोकस से कभी शिफ्ट नहीं होती अगर मैंने कुछ डिसाइड किया है. लेकिन न्यूमरोलॉजी तो हमारे भारत की प्राचीन कला से चला आ रहा है. ये हमारे हिंदुस्तान का एक बहुत अहम हिस्सा है. तो बाद में जब हमने ये देखा, मैंने घर लिया, बहुत खुशी हुई. तो हर चीज़ अकॉर्डिंगली पॉजिटिव थी. नंबर्स भी बहुत अच्छे थे घर के जो मैच हो रहे थे. लेकिन पहले से मैंने डिसाइड नहीं किया था, क्योंकि फोकस हमेशा पॉजिटिव रहा है. और आई वॉन्ट टू मेक एवरीथिंग अराउंड मी ब्यूटिफुल. आई वॉन्ट पीपल टू always have success in life, be happy, be very healthy. So that is my wish, and I have been a part of spiritual environment always with a lot of spiritual organizations. So maybe that has helped me a lot with the positive surrounding.
So
मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ ना. अब देखिए आप जो वास्तु शास्त्र है, so prominent, is so powerful, right? And I believe in that myself. And वहाँ पे यहाँ भी the feng shui जो है ना, the art of air and wind, the Chinese say, right? That is also very prevalent, you know. So the feng shui concept is more Bagua oriented, you know. वो art, they make 8 corners, right, and then they'll do it like that. Vastu is more scientific, and I personally feel that you know, well, I'll say, who cares? The concept of feng shui has been, you know, it's been stolen from India, you know. Over the years, the Chinese just kind of like they steal everything else, and they took that too. You know, it's just like the cookie, you know. If you go to a Chinese restaurant, right, and in the end they'll throw 2 cookies at you and you open it to see how fortune can, right?
Yes.
And I have some friends there, these Chinese, I was talking to them, I said, cookie. He said, listen, Mr. Kalsi, these cookies are only for the Westerners, you know. this is, we don't open any cookies, right? So going back to your question, you said that how would, I mean, if you don't stay with the numbers, what can happen, right? I can tell you, I'll give you one example. I'm also a real estate broker, and where I live, up in the area of Fremont, in that area, in the Bay Area, there was this one family that moved from Seattle down. They were Oriental people, and beautiful, you know, development people, and a $2 million home was bought, you know, and they were business people. So you know, a huge koi pond and everything, and the koi fish, by the way, were imported from Japan. Ek machhi ki कीमत was $25,000. I said, my God, you know, that is the state of buying fish, right? And then, so over time, the business was not doing that well. And then suddenly there was a sign outside said for sale, you know. So as a real estate broker, I just walked in there. So I asked the lady, I said, this property. She said, yes, Mr. Kalsi, we're selling this property. How much? $2 million. She said, look at the feng shui, look at the fish, and look at this, and look at that. And I looked at the number first. I said, oh, मैंने कहा ये तो घर भी बिकने वाला नहीं है. मैंने ऐसे उसको बोला. She said, oh, we'll see. What happened? That house was the number 180. As it went, it did not sell. They had a loan on the property, and what happened in the end? The bank took the property, right? So the point is that even the most expensive koi fish could not save that property. So that is how important numbers are.